What's up, Phil 12? This is Darien Rencher, college football analyst here with my guy, Deuce Vaughn. What's good, bro?
What's good, man? I appreciate you having me today.
Yeah, glad to have you on, man. Look, me and Deuce connected a couple weeks ago, so it's kind of come full circle, not doing an interview. Kind of going back 2 weeks ago, bro, you got a really big win against Oklahoma. Y'all been on a really good run. Like, talk me through, like, how the season's been going for you guys, especially after getting that game.
Right. So leading up to that game, we came off of a pretty disappointing loss to Tulane, and we felt like as a football team, we didn't play our best football. Just as a collective, I feel like on offense we were inconsistent. We didn't have a pulse or an identity really against Tulane. It was something that we really wanted to focus on going into Oklahoma, understanding that it's really 12 one-week seasons here in college.
Right.
Because anyone can beat anyone. So going into that game, we understood that our preparation, the way that we handled our business throughout the week was going to be big. And that's exactly what we did. And it gave us the confidence, the belief to go into a tough environment down in Norman against 85,000 people that, want to see you lose. And almost, as a football team collectively play really, really well. Understanding that we still had some things that we could have done better. And to go down there and have the belief for the entire 4 quarters, the way that we played is probably the biggest thing I looked at as a football player was saying, these guys, we're out here flying around, playing hard, rules and principles were in place. And it was kind of one of those things where everybody was playing fast and it was really cool to see. And then, of course, as soon as you finish up with that game, you hop into conference play again.
Right.
Texas Tech, who's a really physical, fast, athletic football team, and they were coming off a big-time win against Texas. So it's one of those things where you have to rewire your brain again to say, hey, man, we just won a big-time game, but we have to put it behind us. This team into Manhattan is a really good football team. We have to prepare the same way that we did going into Oklahoma to play here at home, and I feel like we did that. We had some lulls and stuff throughout the game as an offense, and but we played really well, and we were able to get a big-time victory, and now shifting our focus to Iowa State before the bye week.
Yeah, bro. I think everything you said, just being on some good teams, that's kind of, you got to go win on the road in big time environments. Good teams win on the road, and then like you said, just having that 1 week like season like mindset is like so important as you kind of go through the season, because like you can't get too low, can't get too high. You just got to stay steady. But y'all are right. I feel like besides the Tulane, obviously that was kind of a letdown. But that, what were your expectations going into the season? And also, how many times y'all been ranked top 25 since you've been there?
This is my, I believe, 3rd time. Last year, I believe we were ranked once. And then this year, we were 25th last week and 20th now. So I believe my 3rd. But expectations as far as coming into the season, we understood that we had a really, really good football team. We had the pieces in place all over the football field, and we had the cohesiveness as a football team to say, man, we're a family. And we felt that ever since we started winter workouts, and we battled through so much adversity together throughout the year that, man, this is the fun part. You know what I'm saying? Summer workouts and everything, they don't compare to this. This is what we do, play football every day in and out, and then on Saturday go out there and get to celebrate the work that you put in. And understanding that, man, it was going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but understanding that this football team is built for it. And for us, of course, every single time we step on the football field, you want to get a win. So going 1-0 every single week is our goal as a football team, and going 1-0 every day as a football team is our goal. And up to that point, I feel like we've done a pretty good job at it. And at this point, it's just being consistent. And man, just understanding that even after Tulane loss, everything that we want is still in front of us. And attacking every single day like that is what we've been doing ever since. And man, I'm so proud of this team and everything we've accomplished at this point.
No, you should be, bro. Y'all definitely got some national respect, like the Oklahoma win, but just seeing like y'all are like a ranked team, so definitely catch a notice. And I definitely got y'all's work cut out. Before we get there, I want to ask you a question. You said about pieces coming together. Talk about just like the quarterback transferring in, Martinez. How much is that added to the offense, and like pretty much you think completed y'all's game as a team?
Right. And these past 2 games, man, he's a dynamic football player. Absolute dynamic player. And we understood that from just the 4 years that he had in Nebraska, watching his film, the things that he was able to do up there in Lincoln, and to come in the winter and show us that throughout spring ball whenever he got healthy, and to show us that throughout summer and then fall camp. And now these past 2 games, man, he's bursting onto the scene. and he deserves all the national respect he's getting because of the work that he's put in. We've seen and everything that he does for this program. So to bring him in and for him to play like this right now and to get the ball rolling for all our offense like that every single week, man, he's a leader. He's somebody that I call a true friend. Just for the 9 months that he's been here, he's made an impact on my life. And it's one of the things that, man, when you have him at the helm, a guy like that at the helm is just something you want to play super, super hard for. So anytime I get the lead block for him, man, I'm going to go throw my body out there can to get him in the end zone.
Look, how much you weigh? All 170 what?
All 177 pounds.
Come on, bro. But one of the things that's cool too, I mean, just for me, like throughout my time in college, I ain't gonna lie, like when I heard Kansas State, y'all had, obviously you've been doing your thing, had a couple of players. Kansas football is on the map right now, bro. I mean, y'all are playing well, Kansas is playing well. What does that mean just as far as like, I guess respect or just pride? Because I feel like that hasn't always been the narrative during your career. But now that's a thing where like you got to respect Kansas football.
Yes, sir. It's one of the things that man, we talked about. Having a chip on our shoulder. Every single time that we go into a game on Saturday, these past 2 years, we were an underdog. Literally, every time you look, we were underdog. We were not the favorite. And it's one of those things that we always keep that chip on our shoulder. We're starting to get some national attention. And I believe Kansas feels the exact same way. They're starting to get some national attention. But we understand that those past couple of years, these past 3 years, everybody's looked at us as just Kansas football, Kansas State, Kansas. And there's never really a respect level from these teams. And to be able to come out here and play this well up to this point, it's one of those things where you kind of understand that, hey, we have some pretty good football teams over here. But understanding that the work that we put in, the chip that we have on our shoulders is the reason why we're in this position. And we can't let that fade.
Right. And that even kind of going off that, I know, I mean, being an undersized guy, you play with a chip on your shoulder. Talk to people that have like obviously seen your name kind of pop up into the top 5 in reps right now in college football, bro. You're doing your thing. Like what's your mentality being a small running back playing big time college football?
Right. For me, my chip has always been, I'm not supposed to be here. I was told I wasn't supposed to be here. Throughout my entire recruitment, I had multiple opportunities where I'd go to camps, I'd go to these unofficial visits, I'd talk with coaches, and the answer would always be the same. We don't see you fitting onto our program. We don't see you being big enough to play at this level. And we just not right now. We have somebody else over you right now. It's always been fuel to the fire. Never anything revengeful, but fuel to my own fire, motivation to say, this is the game that I love. This is a game I've been putting in work to ever since I was 7 when I wanted to do this. And I understand that I have the talent and the resources. That's one of the things that a lot of people overlook is the people that got me to this point. The resources that got me to this point, parents, family, friends, coaches, that got me to this point. And man, it's one of those things where I want to do everything for them to kind of say, I appreciate you believing in me, but also believe in myself, saying that even throughout all the no's, all the mountains that I had to climb to get to this point, man, I conquered those things. And to be able to be playing like this on a team like this, I feel like all the pieces really did come together for me. And man, it's one of the things I'm super blessed for.
Yeah, bro, I think it's been a great journey, like you said, like kind of getting to that point, all the adversity, and then finally kind of culminating in your last years there. I mean, y'all couldn't really write a better story, but I will say, and like, I mean, I'm sure your coaches know it's a 1-week season, but y'all got y'all's work cut out. I think y'all proven that y'all could play with a lot of these teams, but when you look at the rest of the season, obviously you got this week. As you look ahead, just like what are y'all's expectations? Like, I mean, because obviously, it's, you know, some teams will say like our expectations are to win. Did y'all really think that y'all could win the Big 12 coming to the season, or is it now like we actually go win this thing?
That's always winning the Big 12 championship is always the goal, but it's a process. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's always the end goal, but it's a process. And this week, this challenge that we have in front of us this week is just another stepping stone in that process. Right. And Coach Kleiman and our coaches do a great job of making sure that we understand that you don't get to the end goal without enjoying the process, without enjoying every little thing, every minute detail that goes into it. And so, like you said, we have a work cut out for us. Going up against a really, really good Iowa State team that's coming off of back-to-back losses, and we're going to Ames. We're going to go to a hostile environment again, and just understanding that the work that we put in yesterday, the work that we have to put in today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it all has to be intentional, because whenever you get to Saturday, It can't be any doubt. It has to be all
Right.
that you put in all the work that needs to be done, and let's go play football. Let's go do what we do. And it has to be like that every single week. Because I mean, you see TCU playing really good football, Oklahoma State
Yeah.
really good football, Baylor playing really good football, Kansas playing really good football. It's one of those things where, man, it's not going to get any easier. So you have to stick to those rules and principles.
No, I agree. I think y'all got like a long season because I mean, y'all's conference, some of the blue bloods of the past years, it's like they haven't won some of these out of conference games, which doesn't have them ranked. But at the same time, I feel like anybody, like it's kind of early. I feel like the teams that are like kind of low right now that may have like a maybe 0-2 in the conference, I feel like anybody can emerge. And so I
Yes,
think y'all like, yeah, like you said, bro. I mean, I got like still got Texas, Baylor. You guys are right now, but they're like typically the teams people look at as like, oh, they're carrying the Big 12. And so I think y'all's conference is gonna be one to watch out for as far as like how things play out. I feel like some other conferences, like all right, they gonna win it. You know what I'm saying? ACC, they gonna win it. Big Ten, SEC, it's like they gonna win it. But
yes,
y'all's conference is one I think people should really look at for this year as far as like competitive depth, because it's gonna be cool to see how teams kind of, like you said, stick to the process, play out, who falls
100%.
off, who rises up. I guess last couple of questions for you, bro, because you keep it like 10 minutes. To any kid out there, you know what I'm saying, in your position, may not be undersized, be underrated. What would you tell them?
It's all about the work. It really is. The stars, the national recognition coming out of high school is all cool. It's all glitz. It's all glamour. But as soon as you get to that next level, I mean, it's all work. Because
Right.
every single person that's inside this building, inside every single Power 5 football building, is there for a reason. And you have to understand that. How are you going to separate yourself? You're already looked at as underappreciated, undervalued. How are you gonna stand out? What type of work are you gonna put in to stand out? And you have to be the hardest. You have to be the hardest working person in every single room that you step into. Being undersized, being underlooked, you have to be the hardest working person. You have to be that person that makes people go, wow, like this dude
Yeah.
is. You're never gonna. That's one thing my dad. And I will use this analogy for the rest of my life. My dad told me when I was younger. He's like, you'll never be a whoa guy. You have to be a wow guy. You're never going to be somebody that walks into a camp and the coach is like, whoa, that kid's huge. Like, you know, so he looks like he's a ball player. You have to be a wild guy. When you start moving, when you start doing your thing, they can be like, wow, this kid can play football. You have to make sure that everybody has that. You have to have that wow factor. You have to find what's yours, and you have to stick with it and go at it at your craft. And that's one of the things I'll always tell people that are maybe beyond a little undervalued, a little underappreciated. Is you have to be a wild guy.
Look, I ain't heard about every football slogan or analogy in my life. That's the first one. That's noted. The wild one, why? All right. Last one for you. For people who out there like who are finally seeing Kansas State football. I feel like anybody who knows football kind of watch you guys, but people that are like kind of tuning in now, like even for me, like what is Kansas State football's DNA? What do people need to know? Like what do y'all stand for? What do you feel like the pride is in the program? Like tell the people who Kansas State football is.
For us, anytime that you tune into a Kansas State football game, you're going to see 11 guys on the field working hard, and playing for each other. That's what it's all about. We're just 11 dudes, 22 dudes, 11 on D, 11 on O, and 70 sitting on the sideline, cheering us on, waiting for their opportunity, going to war every single weekend. And one of the things that people don't understand is that Monday through Friday, we're putting in so much work together and we're building this cohesiveness as a football team so that on Saturday it's easy. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is our 4 core values: discipline, commitment, toughness, and be selfless. And we stick by them every single day. And it's one of the things that if you're disciplined, if you're committed to everything you do, if you're tough in everything that you do and you're selfless, it's a recipe for success. And it's one of the things that the culture that we've built here with Coach Kleiman, and that see it start to come into fruition every single Saturday is super exciting. And for people to kind of understand what we do here, those 4 core values, they tell the entire story.
Bro, glad to have you on. The little engine that could, bro. That might be a caption for you, bro. I had that one in my vault for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't use it. Look, but go ahead. Next post.
100%.
Deuce Vaughn. Yeah, Deuce Vaughn. Thank you for coming on, bro. It's been long overdue for us to link up. That is it. Field of 12. Y'all tune in. Check out the interview.